So I'm at U of H, close to U of H, next to Eastwood Transit Center, charging my phone real quick. It's 2:05 in the morning, and so I'm just going over some of the pages. I'm trying to find a way to get rid of this dude that keeps on threatening to murder me and keeps using defamation. But as I was reading, I had discovered that you have a company who is in partnership with IC Systems, so they basically like to they have a role play so that they can measure another individual's behavior or reactions in accordance to scenarios that are enacted by players. But in my case, it's like it's being used to implement a orchestrated proposed execution or prosecution by the military, and their partner's name is Intrinsics, who also works with military operations and other radio telecommunications. So one of them, so there's like a projector. It's like a deployed head montage product that reminds me of a TMS or a TDCS simulator, because it also produces it has proven to have progressive symptoms of EHS, or electronic hypersensitivity, and all those symptoms that you discover or read in EHS are all the symptoms that I have been experiencing. But that's a result from a breach or intentional hacker who has skill in the penetrating cybersecurity and center security systems or medical records, into medical records. And I believe that is how he entered a file folder on my medical chart there at Bentab, maybe in 2018, around that time, illustrating a damaged cortex, or a damaged cerebral cortex, or a degenerative or integrated cerebral cortex. It's one of those, but it was never discussed or communicated to me or disclosed to me by any of the doctors. We are now in 2023, November 24th, food stamp day, my food stamp day today, and I've been receiving his threats to try to get me to die and pass out so that he can get to take all my food stamps. Again, Navy Warcom, or Station 6, I believe, are the ones who were known for trafficking. And so they did that. Maybe, I don't know if it's involuntary subjects or not, but they would traffic their organs. And so I don't know if Mr. J.C. Penney has anything to do with it. So, and I also read that they use artificial intelligence to extract Google Voice data from their subjects or victims so that they can use them to mimic their voices and retrieve or get government benefits. And then you have other methods of cyber stalking that are used to implement involuntary trafficking or servitude subjects that are sometimes encrypted with keys, um, and are all assigned an IP address or internet protocol so that they could be under a supply chain and also uh, uh, have a other what is it, their IP data, or yeah, their data, is it called embedded, I don't know, with a a script or a computer or a command chain or command event script program. And so basically it uh, deals with quantum operations and other settings. But yeah, but because there's also patents that are used for experimenting and imported or exported licenses that are used to torture your victims, or not victim, but your terrorists, like for example, army and military um, services, or when they have a terrorist and they do their interrogation, they have weapons to do those things. And I believe that that is why he has me under this uh, unexpected outsourcing, or a company found on my T-Mobile under Convergent Outsourcing Incorporated, which was started without my acknowledgement to keep me under a debt, under a due. And so he has been targeting all my cell phones using this uh, basically like a cell site simulator or a pen register roving tab. And he acts like they're not able to just decrypt or just migrate a new cloud agent, deploy an agent, and migrate, a cloud agent, and make sure that I keep the same settings, or just curate the data that needs to be curated, but make sure it's not like malicious or something that is contributing to like something that nobody wants to know. I'm not a zombie and I don't need to be one. But we can also tell that the cosigner Alfred also likes to play with controller settings, and I don't like the idea that they make it seem like it's just hard for you to tell me how to manage the shit. Why don't you just tell me go to API key and I'll deploy the shit? or toggle volume or intercom and whatever Dougie or Douglas Paul Clark. Feels like that's what he did. He did something with Rob Schneider, but like I said, you're dealing with quantum operations and this current cloak or encloakment that I feel like, or I relate to as a some type of capsule, I guess, simulator. I don't know how that works, bro. It's just different kinds of dielectrics that are working. Um, but it is intelligent and it can recognize patterns, and it'll manifest or find a somehow a destiny and destination, and reroute it to where it'll align you a badass outcome scenario. It's like fucking robots or bots taking over. I did do some research and I found out that on Gary, who is the one that told me to just trust him with that password that he gave me. I didn't ask for it. That he had FINRA as an insurance, and so I looked into it a little bit more, and so I noticed that that might be a possible thing, a possible means for him to possible means method that he's using to um, connect or a supply chain, but because the man might be related or know someone who has $1 million or $1 million, or like his brother in Florida, he might be able to like make shit happen around me to make me like fucking pass away, blow up, or end up dug in a hole or concealed. But like I said, he and I have never had a bad relationship, and there might be some things that I didn't like find too attractive about his actions whenever he smokes. But other than that, I never had like a bad character with him, attitude, whatever. Not attitude, but yeah. Now I do have Mr. Pennington, maybe, and a bonding company, who may have fallen under a source coded entity. There you go. And then you have the bounty hunters who keeps going around saying, when it comes to something-year-old child and whatever, like basically just trying to make me look like a pervert or a child molester. Like, no matter what, the program is always going to find something to throw at you. It's ran by a fucking bot. That robot, for example, the one that is integrated with my agency, is under the name of It's Not Mao or Mayo, which I believe belongs to some Indians or Hindus, or ran by it or operated. Also connects to my mother. Whenever I saw on her Cash App, she had another bot taking over her Cash App under Ibrahim Robianot. Okay, that's two. I noticed that there was a different odd behavior in Diana, my mom, and Carlos. And they took me to the Cricket store, or Cricket Wireless store on Jensen and 59 North. And while there, they took me, they picked me up to take me to buy a cell phone. She didn't add it to their family line, to their family plan. They had a family plan. My mom, my brother, and I guess that's it, maybe. I don't know if there was anybody else. Maybe my sister, I don't know. Anyways, instead, they just bought me a separate phone and gave it to me. And I noticed that my mom kept the receipts. But on the way back into the store, because she walked out to get the purse, she made a comment to my brother, like saying, don't worry, at least we have the other sets or the other phones or the other something like that. What are y'all talking about? I didn't ask him. Anyways, when I looked at the receipt, I seen that her receipt, it said something, extra barcode or bin or what, and it said something about a chip or a chipset or something. But mine, she didn't let me read mine or get mine. She tore it at that part. And whenever I thought about that and I processed everything that happened later on, a few days later, that Cricket store wasn't like on the Google Maps anymore. Like it wasn't there. Like it wouldn't show its address or anything. But you have to zoom in and like you'll be able to see it. It shows up now if you type it in, Jensen and 59 North. It's next to a Little Caesars. That phone, I lost that phone that same day or the next day in the Metro bus. And there was some strange shit going on that I think Alfred had control over at my mom's, Micaela's house on Cedar Hill Court. Because whatever he had did, I noticed that my mom, something that, I don't know, somebody was controlling or some type of environmental control would throw off people around me. It's like it became active, or it my radius was now controlled by some type of intelligence or a bot or robot. For example, like it made my mom basically dumb. And like whenever she was trying to drive the car, the Lexus her Lexus out of the Micaela's driveway, she couldn't drive. Like she didn't know what she was doing. I was like, what the fuck? And so she basically like jammed her foot like on the gas and like it started revving. And I was like, what are you doing? The car's like on neutral. Like you're not. What are you doing? And like it's like she just threw it off. Next thing you know, the fucking the vehicle is like basically just there, and she says it's not working. Transmission, I don't know, but I did notice that whenever I went into the restroom to take a shower with the guy who was my kind of mess around partner, um, uh, so that whenever I was in there and I jumped in the same bathtub with him, it's Alfred actually, that my mom began acting strange or like weird, which I really like. It's really not normal because she's what is it? She's cool with like whatever I do, my sexuality or whatever. But there are some there are some immigrants who come from, I guess, Mexico, and somehow my information is broadcasted to them. And these guys in particular, right after Jason bonded me out with AMO bail bonds, uh, this group of individuals came to the apartments at the Silverado apartments with Jason, and they began banging on the floor underneath me, like screaming at me, telling me stop playing with those sex toys and stop being gay, and then it's been revolving ever since. They won't stop. These guys, and they will come around me wherever I'm at with a date on Grindr. They'll come around me with lawnmowers and all kinds of shit wherever I'm at, and they'll make a lot of noise, like intentionally loud noise, and they'll begin like shooting slugs at me, indirect slugs at me, and making like fucked up comments about me. And it's been like growing ever since. And they act like it's hard for me or for someone to like remove their shit, or it's impossible. Like they'll get away with just anything. just like they have like intruded into my cell phone records, starting with ivanspider22@gmail.com. I don't know if Alfred had any connections to it. And then you also have zero solostar0@gmail.com. Back to what I was saying about the Cricket Wireless store. The 346-290-3095 phone number was under an account takeover by a person named Thomas Smith, transferred to a Metro PCS carrier service provider, and then back to a T-Mobile as a business, but still using my name again, back to my name. And just a few days ago, I called that phone number, and this Indian dude answered the phone. So now I know that he's involved in it. But I did, whenever I went to go meet Mr. Friedman, he did tell me, gave me a heads up and told me that you've been bought. And now, ever since then, mobile bail bonds cannot stop impersonating family members and friends. And they've been also using those intrinsic strategies because they want me to stop like being gay. I'm not gonna stop. But they did it to where like now bots are like taking over. Basically, bots automated. Because that's how your antenna, whatever communications, whatever it's doing, TMS, TDCS, whatever those, they need to research those and stop thinking that he's thrown off or he's crazy or he's to drugs. Or basically, if their allegations were true and if they were really hurting my mom, and they would have hurt the person that's hurting my mom. And remember, we have such thing called history analytics. So we can also do that with the PBX cloud and history analytics, and that's how you make sure that what's their name, Michelle's not being impersonated, Diana, or any of my friends, because like Gary told me, it's a movie, it's a ritual, and it's also a movie. And then asked me, do you want me to be in a movie with you? Another thing about Michelle, I don't talk shit about her because she's a friend, but I don't need you making it seem like she's like an angel either, bro. Like, especially if you're gonna like, there is the intention to create a what is it, a friction between me and her, because that's what Jason or somebody is trying to do. And now he claims these Mexicans, immigrants, claim to be doing this for Michelle. So if they had to put her under threat or bribe her or augment their characteristics or attributes by using environmental engineering practices, which is known by the Army, I'm sure they can extract all kinds of data and input, just like you do with different sciences from like trees and shit, DNA or whatever. I'm sure your cell phone can get all that shit too. Diodes, just different electrons. My thing is, how about training me or giving me a sworn secrecy or a sworn, so that I can begin studying and learning these neural networks. That's why I come to university or college. Also because of the all that algorithm warfare. It's a good trade to have, I guess, for cybersecurity and the science